Are we back again for the third time? I believe we are. We are back. I believe I have fixed the issue. We will see in a moment if I have. If not, I've got no idea what the issue actually is, and we'll have a look. But we're gonna go back into qualifying here, where Edgin has set the fastest lap time. Thunder Fox has a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with RD Gamer, and that's a 15.59 for Edgin. I hope someone will let me know if the stream is still experiencing the same issues. I do not believe it is right now, but Scruffy has got second with a 1.159. Jacob right behind, only 7. No, not 7. Sorry, only 9 tenths. Sorry, 9 thousandths. I cannot speak today. I cannot think today. It is okay. We'll get through, and it's still lagging, isn't it? Because now that's broken. Uh, Let's close that, sort that. We'll get some of this eventually. Um, no, that's the thing. It's I'm genuinely not sure why it's broken like this. It usually works. My PC's just decided today it doesn't want to stream. Um, it's looking no, looking worse. Um, so something will work eventually. I can guarantee you that. I'm really not sure why it's doing this. It's never been this bad before. Oh, that explains a lot. What's going on here? So EA has decided it wants everything on. Uh, oh, it won't let me. It won't even let me exit that. That's great. Does that improve anything? We will see. I hope to get this fixed by the time we get to the race, but a quick update on what is happening right now. We have Edgin still on pole, followed by Mizzy, Scruffy, Jacob, and Vlad again, setting quite a good lap time in the first rounds of quali. Still lagging. This is really ideal. Oh, Okay, we're going to see now if this has fixed any of our issues at all. If it hasn't, I'm actually running out of ideas. I've turned my graphics settings like all the way down, all of that. We'll see. Is it still broken? It's looking better on my end than it was. I'm not sure about your end, but on my end, it is looking smooth. Better than it was, anyway. Okay, we're going to go with this. If it breaks again, I'm just going to have a little scream to myself to EA. We've had 12 minutes of qualifying go by already. Everyone except Cook has managed to set a lap time. And it's currently looking like Scruffy is on provisional pole as the Red Bull loses the back end. Mizzy's Red Bull really losing the back end there. That is that lap completely messed up. That set of tyres is not going to be happy either. And so we're going to have Scruffy on provisional pole of a 1:15.5, very closely followed by Edgin, also on a 1:15.5. And Jacob's going to have that 1:15.7, followed by Mizzy, followed by the Red Bull pair with a 1:15.8, or both on 1:15.8s. This is a very close top 5 that we have here, separated by about 3 tenths of a second. And then we have an Alpine Williams Alpine going on, all again very close with 2 tenths just separating them. And then I'm going to have Valid and MKL rounding out your top 10. Now, any issues that we just had, I do apologise. EA decided to reset all of my settings on the game for some unknown reason. As they like to do. Doesn't really shock me, it is EA. But we are going to actually get to watch the end of this qualifying session here with 4 minutes 45 seconds left on the clock. Looks like maybe we need some timing screens as well. That would help. Let's see, Pockets here. I'm not sure if it's a flying lap. If it was a flying lap, it's 1.2 seconds down on his previous lap, which is not a great... It's not where Pockets is going to want to be looking right now. However, we do have a few drivers on their outlaps. Pockets will be entering the pit lane. Hopefully gets refueled, retired just in time to go out for another lap here. And it's looking like we have got a few drivers who are on their outlaps. Got Igor on an outlap right now in that Ferrari. Going around into the final sector now. And I'm expecting something decent here from Igor. Igor's been good at qualifying so far this season. The 3 rounds that have gone past. I can't remember where he managed to qualify last weekend, but I do expect some... I expect not too slow. That's for sure around here. Although, who knows how good they are at Hungary. As Hungary is a very difficult track to get right. As I did say previously, the curbs here are dangerous. You want to make sure you are getting them absolutely right. He goes through turn 1, goes into turn 2. That curb on the inside, be very careful not to touch it. It's very dangerous. Turn 3 there, you can take all of the curbs. However, just make sure you are being careful. Turn 4, you'll be careful on the outside curb on the entry. And then turn 5, you come in, be very careful of any of the grey curbs around here. That sausage curb right on the exit there, you'll be very careful not to hit that, as that would send your car flying. Go through the chicane and go through sector 2. You're going through the very windy S's. You're going to keep going around, and you're not going to see too many issues. Very, very flat around here. Well, flat is in the accelerator's flat. There are a few hills. Go in, taking that exit, that entry outside curve just a little bit, and then taking the car fully onto the exit. Careful of those grey curbs once again. Go through the penultimate corner. The final corner now. You go through it, very smooth, and that's going to be onto the final pit straight for 1:16.1, putting him in at 7th position. You see here, Scruffy is going very slowly. I'm not sure what that was about, but Vlad appears to also be on a hot lap. He is currently at 58 seconds. Is going through once again. This final sector is quite slow compared to the rest of the track. It's got a lot of slow speed corners, including 2 hairpins. Going to go through, touches that grey curb, nothing bad comes of it, however, and this is not a quick lap by any means. And that appears to be an Aston Martin, potentially in a wall. It looks like MKL is stuck in neutral. Manages to get back into gear. And off MKL goes once again. Of course, a very good show from MKL, getting 3rd position last weekend in the race. However, did lose the tyres just on that last lap, allowing Edgin to overtake. And continuing to see here, we have a lot of drivers on laps, setting their times. I think Igor is 5 seconds down, so we'll be coming in at the end of this lap. What can we see from the Hasses here? You see Johnny going out the final corner and starts the lap. Is that an out lap? I'm not entirely sure, but the 2 Hasses down in 14th to 16th, they'll be looking to improve, as well as those Mercedes as well, down in 15th and 18th, they'll also be looking to improve. But the grid so far is very close, only 2.1 seconds separating the entire grid, with Scraffy still being on that provisional pole. Edgin has not yet re-exited the pit lane. Is Edgin happy with where he is? Because there's only 44 seconds left on the clock, so he does not have enough time to go in and set a time, which is rather unfortunate. Scraffy is facing sort of the incorrect way as drivers start to go through. That is not going to be what he was looking for. I've just realised I turned replays off in an attempt to get things to work. I should probably turn them back on. As I believe we're now coming into the end of qualifying. My game has decided it doesn't want to work anymore. With, I believe, everyone now come around setting their final lap times. Around here. Looks like Jacob is up 300ths of a second on his previous lap time. Currently sat in 3rd. That would not be enough to take Edgin. But that is going to be Edgin, Vlad, Penguin, Igor, Bez, Thunderfox, Johnny and Cook all unable to improve their lap times, and they will be starting at best where they are. Scraffy enters the pit lane on provisional pole. We're going to see where Jacob is here. He is in the 3rd sector going through the first of the 2 hairpins. Is going to go through the second of the 2 hairpins to the final corner. Goes onto the pit straight. Didn't look like he got the accelerator down quite how he would, but that's going to be a 1:15.5, and that's going to be pole position for Jacob, unless, of course, Mizzy has anything to say about that. Mizzy, however, 500ths down on previous lap time. This is not where Mizzy wants to be if he wants to take the pole position here around the Hungaroring in round 4 here of Tier 1. It's going to go around. It's currently on a 1:15.8. Needs to make 3 attempts to have a chance. Set a purple sector 2. So we're going to continue to see. Goes through the first hairpin. Goes into the final corner. He's going to have that DRS open the moment he goes over the line. That's going to be a loss of the rear end, and that's not going to be a great lap time. Does improve, but is not able to improve past 4th position with that 1:15.6, and that is going to be your grid for the race this evening. Jacob on pole for 1:15.5, followed by Scraffy, Edgin, Mizzy, Vlad, Penguin, Striker Boy, Igor, RD Gamer, Bez, Wilton, Thunderfox, Valid, MKL, Pockets, Johnny, EKH, and then Cook, rounding off the final position on the grid. That was a very interesting qualifying. Jacob did perform as I expected, and Edgin, of course, getting up there as well. And Vlad's also set in a very fast lap time, that 1:15.84. Now we just wait for everyone to come back round. I believe everyone is now finished. That is going to be your 18 drivers grid, and that's going to be, there you go, Mizzy in 4th, unable to improve on that final lap time. Probably would have improved if he didn't lose the back end quite like he did exiting the final corner. However, as I said, this track is very difficult to get right. So this is your grid. It's going to be Jacob on pole, followed by Scraffy, Edgin, Mizzy, Vlad, Penguin, Striker Boy, Igor, RD Gamer, and Bez being your top 10. And Wilton, Thunderfox, Valid, MKL, Pockets, Johnny, EKH, and Cook being your final 8. Not a great showing here from Mercedes, only getting 11th and 18th, and Haas as well with only 12th and 16th. We'll see what everyone can do in the race that will be coming to you next. But if you do want more DRC content, you can go and follow the podcast over on Spotify. That is available for you to listen to. It is recorded every week and posted there every week, and features recaps of the upcoming race. Or, sorry, what's going to happen in the upcoming race, and the review of the previous race. And next podcast will be based a lot around Hungary. So if you've got any extra time, go listen to that. So we're going to go into the race here as they all try and work out what setup, what tyres they want to use for this track. It looks like it's going to be a dry race, at least to start with. I'm seeing a few clouds in the sky, but just overcast. I'm not expecting any significant rain, as of course our engineers all stand in the pit lane, their signature phasing into each other T-pose. That's just their classic warm-up for preparing for doing all the pit stops this race for all of the drivers. I'm expecting probably a one-stop race from most drivers, with the exception of safety cars coming out, which is almost guaranteed. I don't think we've had a DRC race without safety cars yet this season. I could be corrected on that. Who actually knows? As we are going to continue to wait. We are waiting for players, as of course all the drivers do need to sort their setups out and all of that good stuff. Now, for this race, I'm very much expecting a good showing from Edgin. Edgin was an absolute rocket last time out in Monza, setting 4 fastest laps in a row and then setting out to take second, which was a kind of unfortunate for MKL, as did spin, causing Edgin to go through. But I do expect Edgin to be very fast here. Jacob's going to have a hard time defending against Edgin. Of course, did win the race after gaining over 8 seconds, I think it was, to third position. Those Astons out in front. With 5 seconds left until we go to the grid, we're now all prepared for the race to go ahead, and we are now going to go take a look at your grid. Of course, you have Jacob there sat on pole, ready to go. Jacob is in the Aston Martin. I think that might be half of why the restart happened. But yeah, we have started. That was a scuffed start. But that's going to be Scraffy immediately taking the lead, followed by Jacob. Jacob tries to go down the inside. Of course, Jacob does have that medium tyre advantage. And that's going to very much help him going into this race, as we are going to see what tyres everyone has started on. Looks like a pretty 50-50 split with Jacob, Edgin, Igor and Striker, Wilton and Vlad in your top 10, all starting on the medium tyre. As we go through, it looks like everyone has survived. I say that as an Aston Martin appears to have spun around, but that is going to be your predicted pit stop strategy, a one stop for the medium to the hard, or if you started on the soft, medium, medium. However, no one has started on the soft, so we are very much expecting this one-stop race. Looks like Scraffy here is not able to get away from Jacob. Jacob keeping with that half a second gap. Edgin, though, is looking at the back of Mizzy's Red Bull. Of course, Mizzy has those hard tyres, is not going to be able to keep away from Edgin for long. Edgin very, very quick on that medium tyre in previous races, as Pockets gets ahead of Johnny for 14th position near the back of the grid. Valid has managed to get underway again, and it's going to be Johnny ahead of Pockets once again. And Pockets, it looks like there's quite a tussle going on as Mizzy goes off the track and Scraffy sets a 1:24.3 to start off our race. So it's going to be Scraffy, Jacob, Edgin, Mizzy and Igor being your top 5 here in this race. As it looks like Wilton's looking for the outside of Bez, gets forced off the track just a little bit. Clean, hard racing. That's going to be... Looks like Bez is going to get squeezed. Bez has to back off. It's going to be Wilton getting ahead and Vlad getting ahead. But Wilton also keeps ahead of Vlad after a hard fought position. And Bez and Vlad are still going to fight for it going into the end of Sector 1 here, as Vlad keeps it. And that's going to be Bez down into 9th with Vlad and Wilton both gaining positions at the start of this race on lap 2. Jacob is now starting to catch up to Scraffy. Scraffy, those hard tyres not working for him quite how he'd like, because as, of course, we have seen previously, we're expecting Edgin and Scraffy to be very fast around the circuit, as they always are around every circuit. Valid has made a pit stop, is now on the medium tyres. I believe probably front wing damage from the little incident he was involved in earlier on in the race, as the rest of the grid is still very close to each other in the final turn. Going on to the front straight, it looks like Edgin's looking at Jacob. Edgin goes for it on Jacob. Edgin is ahead going into the corner, and that will be Edgin taking second position in this race from Jacob. Jacob now has to fall to third. And Edgin's now going to go on a hump for Scraffy, as RD Gamer and Bez are also having a battle here going through turn 1. They're going to look for it. looks for it. RD Gamer doesn't find anything. Goes down the inside. Does Penguin. Again, doesn't find anything. Very contested in the midfield right now. But the battle we're all interested in is this edging scrappy battle for the lead of the race. Of course, two very fast drivers here. Jacob has now fallen back to about half a second. And now got to worry about Mizzy again, half a second behind him. As the grid now does sort of start to separate out, but we do have midfield battles involving, looks like Penguin, MKL, Cook and RD Gamer all looking for that final points paying position as everyone is all over the road. However, no incidents have occurred as of yet. We're going to keep looking. It's going to be Edgins getting ever closer to Scraffy. The time may not be changing, but he just looks closer. He goes, looks for the inside in the final corner. Scraffy has the inside line now in the car position perfectly for an attack that Edgin just tried. And DRS is now active, and Edgin's going to have to DRS. Scraffy isn't. Edgin's going for it. He's going for it. He looks around the outside. Scraffy has just enough ERS to keep that position. Edgin goes very wide. That's going to give Jacob the position. That's a Red Bull. A Red Bull spun, and so is the Red Bull. A Ferrari and a Red Bull have all spun. It looks like we have two Ferraris and a Red Bull all spun around there. That's going to be Mizzy dropping all the way down to 9th and now getting overtaken into 10th as Alpine goes round. And that is very unfortunate as both Ferraris now drop to the back of the grid. That's going to be Igor and Edgin 16th and 17th. RD Gamer is going to get a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Scraffy keeps the lead of this race and Jacob moves into second. He's now got a significant gap to Striker Boy. It's going to leave him to go for it. And now it's going to be EKH getting past Edgin. Has Edgin got damage that we are unaware of? Let's look at Edgin's car. Edgin's car does not look damaged. However, EKH was able to get past with some ease. And Igor as well looks to still be alive. We're going to have a quick look at Mizzy's car. Mizzy's car does appear to still be alive as Thunderfox picks up the second penalty of the day with a 3-second track limits penalty. Now Vlad is in the Red Bull, sat in 5th, taking advantage of his teammates and the Ferrari's misfortune as Edgin gets back past EKH. Edgin is going to have to do another recovery drive here for a second weekend in a row if he wants any chance of getting a high position in the standings. Vlad looks to go past Wilton, but backs off, doesn't think it's worth it, and is now going to exit turn 1, still behind, goes through the DRS zone, has DRS, but doesn't really gain too much, as that's going to be another lap-long battle there. In fact, maybe even a race-long battle that we see for 4th position, as RD Gamer and MKL appear to be having a battle. So everyone's off the track there. It's going to be Bez, followed by RD Gamer, followed by MKL, Mizzy, Cook and Pockets, Penguin and Thunderfox, all in a little DRS train going around Sector 2, as looks like no one's yet able to make a move on anyone as they all go around the corner, all successfully, no one hitting each other, no one going for a move, as they're all sat up 2 to 4 tenths between each other, unable to make a move. They'll all look for it into the next DRS zone. It looks like Jacob has caught about 1/10 on Scraffy for the lead of the race, as Vlad is still hunting Wilton there for 4th position. Vlad, of course, wants to get a very good position here for Red Bull and for himself, of course. Every driver for themselves, but also for their teams with this team principal format. We really want to be keeping your team principals happy. As we're going to see here, Vlad does get ahead of Wilton in the end into turn 1. Looks like DRS did it. And of course, with only the one DRS detection zone, will get the DRS again. And that's also going to be a battle between Johnny and the McLaren. But they're going back at it and looks for Johnny down the inside. Johnny has the inside, has a half car length for alongside I don't actually know how to say that name. I'm not going to lie. I'm really bad with names. As I'm sure we've heard through the broadcast, Johnny goes for it again, but is unable to find it. It's a very dangerous section of track to try and make the overtake. And looks like Johnny is going to back off and look for it another time. Pockets is looking at MKL, is getting ever closer. Those medium tyres in their prime right now. Only 5 laps on as EKH has the newest tyres. Only 1 lap old mediums. Penguin gets ahead of Cook. And Cook now drops back to 12th, getting further and further away from his points paying positions. This DRS train now stretches from 7th all the way down to 13th. It's a very long DRS train that we haven't seen in quite a while here. But it's going to be Thunder Fox at the back, is making big games. It looks like Cook might be here to lose another position. Goes ahead going into turn 1, is half a car length ahead. Edge sets the fastest lap and does go ahead. That's going to be Cook down to 13th, Thunder Fox into 12th, gets closer to those points paying positions. Will now be hunting down Penguin of the Alpine team. Looks like Scraffy's had an issue. I'm not sure what's happened to Scraffy, but Scraffy's dropped down to 5th, giving Jacob the lead, Striker Boy 2nd and Vlad 3rd, as Wilton then moves down into 4th. I'm not actually sure what happened to Scraffy there, but we will hopefully find out. As it looks like RD Gamer as well has had an incident. I'm not entirely sure once again what's happened there, but RD Gamer moves down to 13th, giving Cook one of his positions back, and RD Gamer also has a penalty. Not sure when that was picked up. Scraffy's going to be hunting for his lead back again, as he's lost close to 10 seconds from that spin that he just had. Both Red Bulls are still stuck at the back of the grid behind the Haas of Johnny. And Scraffy getting ever closer now to Wilton. Wilton is going to be scared to have Scraffy behind. Scraffy has that DRS. Scraffy's going to be using that ERS to his advantage. Goes for the outside line. Is ahead going into the corner, and Wilton concedes the position. That's going to be Scraffy back into 4th. However, he's got a lot of catching up to do to catch back up to Jacob. As we see Igor make the first scheduled pit stop of the race. At least I hope it's scheduled. As Edgin looks to be going past Johnny. Edgin will be past Johnny, and that's going to be Edgin back up into 15th. But Edgin really needs to start the charge soon if he wants to get anywhere in this 35-lap race. Now, Vlad has Scraffy behind by about 2 seconds, but of course has a medium tyre, so we'll be able to hold off for at least a little bit longer. But Scraffy's pace has always been unmatched here at DRC. But Vlad is luckily pick up DRS from Striker Boy ahead when those 2 DRS zones do come along, and will be using that to drag him along. He's only managed to lose 2 tenths so far this lap to Scraffy. In fact, is gaining that time back as we speak. But Mizzy is very close to Bez in the 6th, 7th battle. Hopefully we'll see something interesting happen here soon. As they go around the final turn, it looks like Bez not getting quite the greatest line. Goes for more acceleration on the exit. Mizzy has the advantage now. The DRS goes for the outside line. They're all moving around all over the place. Is almost ahead. They're wheel to wheel going into turn 1. Looks like Bez has the advantage, but Mizzy switches back. Oh, taps Bez. Doesn't lose the car, loses it a tiny bit, but not enough to end up in a wall or the gravel or anything. And that's going to be Mizzy up into 6th position from 7th. And that is Mizzy starting to recover from a spin that he also had previously in this race. As it's going to now be Striker Boy who's having issues going into... No, not Striker Boy having issues. Vlad's having issues. Vlad's managed to get up into 2nd. Wait, hold on. Vlad got ahead of Striker Boy. I'm very confused on what's going on in this race. As Bez has had an incident. I'm not exactly sure what's happened to Bez, but they've hit the wall. I believe they've potentially lost some of their front wing. This isn't a great camera angle to be looking at it, but it's going to be that front wing still appears to be intact, but that's going to be Bez all the way down. Edgin is now up into 13th as well. Starting that charge that he needs to get back on those podium positions. Jacob has a 7-second gap now to 2nd. This is very reminiscent of what happened in Monza, as Edgin now looking around the outside of RD Gamer, gets round RD Gamer. That's going to be Edgin now up into 12th, as Cook is next on his list. Pockets now is going to be on the hunt for MKL, but has Penguin closely followed behind. And what we're seeing here is a race that's very different to what happened in Monza. In Monza, we had separated battles throughout the field, but everyone here is very close to each other, apart from Jacob, who has managed to take the lead of this race, as Edgin now gets past Cook, and it's going to be Edgin up into 11th, and he is making the positions up as he needs them, as it believes Edgin has just gone off the track and almost given Cook that position back. And Edgin not what he wants to be seeing for his race, as Cook now picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Not what Cook's going to be wanting after having lost so many positions in the last few laps. Penguin is very close to Pockets. Of course, these two, while having very similar looking cars in terms of their shade of blue, are not teammates by any means, as the Alpine follows the Williams and gets ever closer, and MKL of course going to be worried about Penguin's speed right behind. His Pockets is his last line of defense other than himself, and it looks like Mizzy's going for a move on. Wilton goes for it, takes the inside line, has the inside line. Brilliant defending from Mizzy, forces Wilton out wide, unable to complete the switchback as Wilton, and that's going to be Mizzy getting up into 5th position in this race, as the Red Bulls are now doing very well so far, and Mizzy will now go after Scraffy. However, Scraffy's pace, of course, is unmatched, and I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to chase. Scraffy is being held up by the looks of it by Striker Boy. Striker Boy's defending, of course, working brilliantly here as they go through the chicane. We have a yellow flag for a Red Bull, and just to talk about how Mizzy was doing so well, Mizzy has had an incident, and now there are parts of Red Bull, looks like over the tracks. It doesn't look like the wing's too damaged, if damaged at all. That's going to be Mizzy back down to 10th after running so high. Of course, Red Bull still have Vlad up in 2nd. With an 8-second gap though to Jacob, which is unfortunate. That's a full course safety car. Who's crashed? Edgin? Edgin's crashed. I believe that is Edgin, who has just caused a full course safety car, full course yellow as they would call it. Well, no, they still have safety cars at WEC. I'm not entirely sure, but Edgin is going to be back behind his teammate down in 18th position. This is not what he's going to have wanted. Everyone dives into the pit lane for a fresh set of tyres. Jacob and MKL stay out once again. The Aston Martins go 2nd and 1st, just like we saw around Monza. I'm surprised that neither of them pit, and of course they were both past the pit lane already, which is entirely possible. Jacob will just hope to get round, maybe in enough time that he's going to be able to put on a fresh set of tyres and maybe even double stack with MKL. But it looks like Edgin now is going to have to force to double stack behind his teammate of Igor, as they now all go into the pit lane. Everyone's gone into the pit lane other than Cook. Lacton? I've got no idea actually how to say that name. But that McLaren has not yet pit. MKL's not pit. Jacob's not pit. And it looks like Edgin has retired from this Grand Prix in the pit lane. Edgin, a shock retirement here in DRC round 4 around the Hungaroring. That is not what Edgin's going to need in his title fight against Scraffy. And that is a very unfortunate retirement that we've just seen here in Hungary, as these two Aston Martins yet to pit will really be wanting to pit going through here. Jacob might have enough time to not lose any track position. MKL, however, I'm not so sure, as it looks like Jacob is going to go for the pit lane. He does enter the pit lane. He needs a fresh set of tyres. His medium's now 11 laps old. We'll probably switch on to some hards and hopefully make it to the end of the race. 60 kilometers an hour in the pit lane. Not very fast at all. Looks like he's going for it. Enters the pit lane. Drives through some Alpine mechanics just, casually. As we do love to see it here in the F1 22 game. But Jacob is going to lose a ton of track position. MKL even more, getting stuck behind on that double stack. And Cook yet to pit. Lacton yet to pit. And it's going to be Aston Martins dropping to 5th and 9th respectively, as that is not what they would have wanted to see. Jacob, of course, doesn't have anyone other than, well, everyone's fast here in Tier 1. But I think Vlad's going to be Jacob's biggest problem on his charge back to the lead. Of course, Scraffy is right behind him. And on the restart, that could be an absolute disaster. Scraffy's restarts have always been very good, especially last season and this season as well. Cook, though, is in the middle of it, in 2nd, on old, hard tyres. We'll very much see how they react to a restart in the coming laps as we wait for the grid to all rejoin with each other. The McLaren as well is going to be on those old hard tyres. We'll very much see what happens on the restart. I do apologise if the stream has just become laggy. I'm not actually sure why that's happened, but it appears to be fixed. We just take a few moments now to relax and see what happens as all the cars just trying to get as close to each other as they can without hitting each other, which of course always ends up in some shenanigans, with us now entering lap 14 out of 35, still under the safety car after that crash that Edgin was involved in. And Edgin, our only retiree so far in this race, 19th position, as we see Striker Boy leave the session, which isn't ideal, as anything your AI does go back on you. But we are going to see Vlad has the restart. Oh my god! That's going to... What just happened? The safety car has desynced. Vlad and Cook go ahead. Am I seeing things correctly? Can someone please confirm that I'm seeing things correctly? Did I just see a McLaren on its roof? Upside down. Did I see that correctly? As Vlad and Cook now are going ahead. They haven't got the safety car. It looks like Jacob's been let through as well. They're all speeding ahead. What did I just see happen here on the DRC Tier 1 stream? The safety car's dropped all the way. The safety car's letting everyone through. Are we going to be under the safety car for a few more laps here? As the safety car crashed. What is going on here? As I can provide you with a replay of the safety car having a moment, as it looks like we're not going to get the restart this lap, and we're going to be at least one more lap behind the safety car, one more lap than we were expecting. And I'm just seeing here, we'll go over, the safety car just lags, hits the McLaren. McLaren goes over, and everyone really trying their best to avoid it. Safety car comes in this lap. The track is green. What is going on? I do not know what is going on anymore. Who's in the lead? Are they racing? Are they not racing? It looks like Johnny has entered the pit lane. Igor has lost a few positions, as Vlad is still in the lead, but it still says we're under safety car. I don't know whether we're under safety car. Who's ahead of who anymore? This is classic F1 game stuff that's going on right now. Igor's in 16th, EKH in 17th. I'm not sure if they're actually allowed to overtake yet. I believe we do have the green flags, so I guess we are. But they're still flashing yellow on the on-track signboards. I have not got anyone's on board to, like, be able to tell. But Vlad will continue in this lead. Cook's old tyres not working for him at all. Mizzy in 11th, very close to Thunderfox. I believe the game has completely bugged out. EKH picks up a 3-second penalty as Mizzy goes down the inside of Thunderfox. What a beautiful move for the final points paying position of 10th. And it's going to be RD Gamer very close. That was one way to end a safety car, everyone. I do want to hear from the drivers what their perspective was on that. Who was it who was hit by the safety car? I have no idea. I believe it's Lacton down in 13th position. That McLaren ended up on their roof, bottom up and all of that. And it's going to be RD Gamer now, 2/10 behind Thunderfox. Thunderfox no longer picking up the DRS from Mizzy, as Penguin as well, MKL and Pockets are in a small DRS train of their own. And now that's going to be Lacton losing more positions. Is losing ever more positions down at the back. Loses another position to Igor. And now it's EKH behind. And Johnny even further behind that, who are still to overtake. RD Gamer is in 12th, 3 tenths behind Thunder Fox still, is unable to actually gain or go for a move. Jacob is now catching up on Cook, is now 6 tenths behind, and will be looking for a move in the coming laps, maybe into the next DRS zone. So he continues to gain 6.5 tenths. We now have a yellow flag, as it looks like an Alfa Romeo has spun. Alfa Romeo is underway again. I believe that was EKH. And Jacob continues to gains to 3 tenths, has one more DRS zone to try and make a move, goes for the switchback, but doesn't find anything on the switchback because he's too far back. He's 2 tenths now. He's 1.5 tenths. No, he's still 2 tenths. Goes into turn 2, is unable to have found anything, and will continue to sit back and follow Cook and let him drag him along, as Striker Boy is 2.5 seconds behind, and not too much of a worry for the pair there, as MKL now sat in 8th, 4 tenths behind Pockets. 4-lap-old mediums compared to 5-lap-old hards should have the speed advantage, tyres alone, on Pockets, and is going to gain a little bit. Doesn't gain much, gains a little bit, has more grip through the corners and gains about 1/10 of a second going through the chicane alone. And we'll now be looking into the 3rd sector as they enter that right about now. And it's going to be Jacob has managed to get ahead of Cook. Jacob now in 2nd position, but has 4 tenths to regain to Vlad, which I do not see being impossible, as Cook, 16-lap-old hard. Not sure why he's not decided to pit just yet. Maybe a few more laps. A few more laps and then goes on to the medium tyres. Who knows? But DRS is now re-enabled after the safety car. And it's going to be currently your top 5 is Vlad, Jacob, Cook, Striker Boy, and Scraffy. Scraffy on the best tyres of the lot, 6 old lap mediums. And in fact, he is gaining on Striker Boy. That's an impressive rate. And now only 4 tenths behind, 3.5 tenths. 3 tenths now, less than 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths. Has so much more grip through the 2nd sector, or the end of the 1st sector into the 2nd sector, that he's just able to make all of that gain. Is now sitting about 2 tenths gap, looks for it, isn't able to find anything into the chicane, but gains, however, loses a little bit of time, as Striker Boy now is right behind Cook, and Cook's going to be slowing Striker Boy down, stopping. However, will give DRS advantage. Look, Scraffy also has Scraffy now 1.5 tenths. Will be looking for a double move maybe. Looks for it, doesn't go for it. Concedes that it's not worth the risk of going for that move. Goes for it into their 2nd to last corner. Goes for it and makes the move stick. And that's going to be Scraffy up into 4th position. Letting Striker Boy take 5th. Or forcing Striker Boy to take 5th, I should say. And Scraffy now hunts Cook. This shouldn't be too much of a problem. Those tyres are no match for each other. Scraffy going into turn 1 has made 2 moves in 3 corners. And that's going to be Scraffy back on the podium. Now has 6 seconds to gain to take the lead back after that spin earlier in the race. Igor now gaining significantly on Valid and has more speed despite both of DRS's tyres clearly working as mediums in their prime right now. As Igor goes through the inside, has the inside advantage, doesn't take it, well, does take it, doesn't stick it, and then it's going to be Igor back around the outside, really has more pace than Valid right now, and Igor will take the position, cutting Valid off mid-corner. That's going to be Igor up into 14th position. Mizzy once again on a recovery drive after the 2nd spin of the race. And we'll be looking for Pockets next. So again, those medium tyres just absolutely working for all of the drivers on it right now. Nothing can quite match the absolute pace those mediums have. Pulls out, goes for the inside, gets cut off a little bit, maybe isn't given quite as much space as he would have liked, but it is still clean, fair racing. So they now go into the penultimate corner and don't find anything, as Mizzy now 3 tenths behind. Be looking into the DRS zone to make a move on Pockets. Pockets has been hard, but Striker Boy goes down the inside of Cook, and that's going to be Cook now losing again. Cook's going to need to pit the next few laps, or those tyres are risking exploding. Mizzy has managed to get past Pockets, going through the 1st turn here at the Hungaroring. And it's going to be MKL in 7th, is looking to improve. Has better tyres than Wilton, at least for a couple more laps, as mediums will still be working better than those hards. is still 5/10 out though, half a second. Very much looking for it. Wilton is keeping up the pace, is probably deploying a decent amount of battery to keep up right now. I do not like this camera angle. Would it stop giving me this camera angle? As Scruffy is now gained to just within 1.2 seconds of Jacob, and Jacob is now within 2.6 seconds of Vlad. Vlad's lead here is diminishing by the second. And Vlad here will be really hoping that those medium tyres start to wear off on Scruffy's car. Scruffy is his biggest opponent. Scruffy gets within 1 second, just over 1 second of Jacob. Would not have got DRS this lap anyway, as there was only one DRS detection zone for both zones. And it's going to be Mizzy and MKL. They're going for it down the main straight into turn 1. Mizzy looks to maybe go for a move as MKL goes for a move on Wilton, but it's not going to be for any of the drivers there other than Wilton making brilliant defensive moves and just being slightly further ahead. As now MKL and Mizzy go for a battle. It looks like we've had an incident involving a McLaren, and McLaren is once again underway. However, this battle is very important here for 7th position. It's going to be Wilton followed by MKL followed by Mizzy here for sorry, 6th position, I should say. 6th to 8th is now having a battle. It's turned a little bit into a DRS train. They've got another DRS train right behind them. Pockets, Penguin, RD Gamer in their own DRS trains. In fact, RD Gamer is very, very close to Penguin for that 10th place, scoring that one vital point in the championship. MKL, however, is going to look for a move on Wilton. Doesn't find it. It has the pressure from Mizzy behind. That pressure is going to maybe force him to make a mistake. Brakes a little earlier than he would have wanted. Wilton getting a better braking zone. Those tyres on Wilton will be starting to be better than those mediums soon. Goes down the inside. Does MKL. Doesn't find anything as now through the DRS zone. Wilton will not have anything. But MKL and Mizzy right behind will have full DRS. That DRS goes active. You can hear it from a distinctive beep. MKL is now going to have the inside line of Wilton, and Wilton goes around the outside, sees MKL, has more speed on the exit. However, MKL is going to have to DRS. Mizzy behind is too far back to try and make a move, and that's going to be MKL securing 5th position off Wilton, as now Scruffy's ended up back behind Striker Boy. Is that what the incident was? As Scruffy managed to have another incident around here on the Hungaroring. That is a Haas who spun on the pit straight. Unforced error for Johnny. And is now going to be 8 seconds slower on that lap and even slower on the next lap as he's lost so much pace down the main straight. There's going to be McLaren of Lacton exiting behind him. And they are at the back, unfortunately, for Johnny. Another unforced error that he would not have wanted tonight. Wilton has now dropped back from Mizzy and MKL, who have both managed to get past. With medium tyres are clearly still working. However, we do still have 14 laps in this race to navigate to see if they can do it, as Vlad starts lap 23. 2 seconds to Jacob, 6 seconds to Striker Boy, and then only half a second to Scruffy. Striker Boy is going to once again be panicking and sweating. Scruffy is behind him, as we haven't seen a fastest lap in a while, unless of course I've been ignoring them, which is entirely possible. I do happen to do that. Mizzy has now got past MKL. I keep missing all of the action. I'm always on the wrong people. Mizzy almost loses the back end. It's going to give MKL a run going into turn 3 or turn 4. Yeah, no, turn 3. And however, is lucky enough that back end loss has not caused any significant problems, as I'm not sure if his medium tyres will make it to the end, as that's going to be over 20 or about 25 laps are going to have to have made it to get that fast. Scruffy now is right behind Striker Boy, going through the chicane, has more grip on those medium tyres, at least for a few more laps. Those medium tyres will be in their own compared to the hards. The hard tyre still working though for Striker Boy, as it's going to be, there's been a crash at the back. I'm not sure who's involved, but it looks like Thunder Fox had an incident. Another Haas having an incident here during this race, which still has 12 laps left to go. The Scruffy is hunting, will have to DRS down the main straight and more speed than Striker Boy on the exit. The amount of speed the DRS is giving, goes for it, goes straight past, is flying past. Absolutely no competition from Striker Boy, and that's going to be 3rd place again for Scruffy, with 7 seconds to catch to Jacob for 2nd position. Vlad continues to lead the Hungarian Grand Prix. 1.5 seconds to Jacob. Right behind on 1 lap fresher tyres after not being able to pit when he wanted to under the safety car because he'd already gone past the pit entrance when it was called out. And Scraffy in third. Those medium tyres will be wearing off shortly compared to everyone else's. Hard. The Striker Boy is fighting back. Maybe the medium tyres have just worn off. Bez picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Another track limits penalty awarded here for the Digital Racing Championship. See, the grid has started to spread out a little bit. We have localized battles happening. This being one of them, Striker Boy on Scraffy. Scraffy has more pace, but tyres that are going to wear out very soon. They cannot be in their prime for too much longer. We have Valid fighting Bez for 12th position. Not a points paying position, but still a vital position if you want to hunt for those points paying positions. We have a DRS train that starts at Pockets and goes all the way down to RD Gamer. So not long, but a DRS train nonetheless. Striker Boy is still keeping on the back of Scraffy. 7/10 on that battle as this DRS train. It looks like Penguin is getting closer to Pockets as we speak. Pockets not got the pace to keep up with the DRS behind from Penguin, and it's going to be a significant... Vlad's crashed. Vlad has not crashed, but Vlad has spun. Scraffy now on the hump for Vlad. They've overlapped Johnny, or Johnny's unlapped himself from Vlad, as now Jacob does take the lead of this race. The lead has switched. Jacob in the lead once again of a DRC race here on round 4. Vlad has 3.8 seconds to catch up and wants to sit in the lead once again. Scraffy, 3.6 seconds to Vlad if he wants to improve his position from third. Striker Boy has just exited that vital 1 second gap. All drivers look to be with him. We're now entering lap 26 as Jacob crosses the line. That's going to mean 10 laps left in this 35-lap Grand Prix. We are over 2/3 of the way through. Lacton picks up a 3-second penalty for, once again, track limits. As we're now going to see how many penalties do people have. It's going to be 3 seconds for Penguin, 6 seconds for Bez, 3 for Thunderfox, 6 for Cook, 3 for EKH and Lacton. As we're going to, of course, keep them in mind as they could become very important, especially this battle with Penguin. Penguin currently effectively in 10th position due to that 3-second penalty to his name, as he's only 3/10 from Pockets. Pockets putting up a brilliant fight to not get overtaken, as Valid goes for a move on Bez, isn't able to find it, does look for the inside. They're getting very close to each other, very clean racing, but that outside line clearly just working for Bez more than the inside line was working for Valid, and Valid will have to wait one more lap before going for another move in the DRS zone. The front has calmed down just a little bit. It's going to be very, very smooth in the front. As Valid, I think this battle is one of the most exciting currently happening, even though it is only for 12th, but 12th still a very good position to finish a racing. We've so far had one retiree, that is Edgin. Edgin did spin early in the race and then retired in the pit lane due to being all the way at the back and front wing having come off. Potentially could have stayed in a race, but Adrian chose to retire. We're now going to see Penguin goes for the move. Is going past Pockets. Pockets not got the DRS, doesn't have the speed. Penguin down the inside. Pockets coming back, but doesn't find anything, unfortunately. That's going to be Penguin up into 8th. However, still has that 3-second penalty, which is moving all the way down to 11th and outside the points as things currently stand. However, that is very close. It's going to be 10th or 11th if the race were to finish now. However, there are still 8 laps left to go for him to try and improve, as Valid is going to continue to see the back end of Bez as goes for it, gets cut off a little bit into the braking zone and does not get the move done. Valid now is going to be getting very frustrated here behind Bez and is not going to be enjoying anything about this battle, as just wants to get past and maybe, just maybe, join that DRS train 4 points. RD Gamer next on the list to overtake Pockets. These two are teammates, so I wonder if we'll see some team orders. as the tyres are looking like this. 15 laps now on those medium runners from the safety car. 15 laps on the hards who pit under the safety car. And that is going to be absolutely vital in what happens next. Will the mediums still have any pace in the next 8 laps left of this race? We are now on lap 28 of 35. Mizzy is in 5th. 4 tenths behind Striker Boy. 4 tenths behind Striker Boy, looking for 4th position in this race. These medium runners, I'm not sure. Johnny has retired from the race. It looks like there's been a crash and it's going to be a full safety car. We're now going to either see pit stops for softs or, well, yeah, I expect some pit stops for softs here as Scraffy is looking in 3rd. And Scraffy here has everything to gain. Was in the lead at the start of the race. Had a few spins and has now got the chance to regain. We'll see who decides to pit here, who decides to not pit. The safety car will likely get a 5-lap shootout at the end of this race. We're going to see who is going to have the pace to come out on top. Are we going to see pit stops for anything different? Jacob enters the pit lane. Vlad does not enter the pit lane. Scraffy enters the pit lane. Vlad has chosen track position over anything else. I'm not sure if that is the right call to make. 16-lap old hard. 17 now compared to the mediums that have been put on Jacob's car. This is very interesting. We're going to see softs go on Scraffy's car. We're going to see a very mixed up grid here. Striker Boy gets rid of those old hards, put on softs as well. Mizzy also on the soft tyres. This is pit lane havoc happening right now, as I'm not exactly sure what's happened, but I don't really have much to go off. Pockets decides to not pit. RD Gamer does not pit. Igor does not pit. A new set of tyres, mediums for MKL. A new set of softs for Wilton. A new set of mediums for Penguin. Softs for Bez. It's going to be Thunder Fox putting on a fresh set of softs, as well as Cook also on the softs. EKH will see a fresh set of it's not updated just yet. We'll see a fresh set of softs, and Lacton, the final one to enter the pit lane here, will see a fresh set of softs as well. So going in to the safety car, they were all on very old, medium and hard tyres. And now we have a very mixed grid in terms of tyres. We have Vlad in the lead of track position in this race. 17-lap old hard tyres. Followed immediately by Jacob, who's on fresh medium tyres, which is going to have an immediate pace advantage on those hards. And then you've got right behind that Pockets, also on the old hard tyres, decided to not pit for fresh tyres. It's going to be Scraffy then immediately behind with fresh soft tyres. And then RD Gamer and Igor both keep it on their old medium tyres. That I'm not sure if that is the right strategy call to have made. That is very interesting. We'll see what happens to those two drivers in the coming laps on the safety car restart. Striker Boy and Mizzy then on fresh soft tyres. Valid sticks on or continues to stay on those really old hard tyres. 19 laps on them. 6 laps left to go in this race. MKL, fresh mediums. Wilton, fresh softs. Penguin, fresh mediums. Then the rest of the grid all goes fresh softs as Bez re-enters the pit lane once again. I'm not sure why. That is how your grid currently looks as we look to maybe do 1 or 2 more laps under the safety car. We will restart probably on lap 32 of 35. We'll get 3 or 4 laps of racing, maybe 1 lap of DRS at the end. We hope the safety car doesn't bug again, as funny as that would be. We do not want it for the drivers. We've had drivers' races sort of, in my opinion, ruined by the last safety car, purely because of the fact it did bug out. It's going to be very close here on the restart. Vlad, once again, has the restart lead, but on old tyres. Jacob, fresh tyres, but only mediums, but has Pockets behind to maybe hold off Scraffy for just a little bit, so they can maybe stay ahead for just a few laps. But that's all they're going to need if they want to win this race, just a few laps. MKL has left the session in 10th position. Is now going to be controlled by AI. I'm not exactly sure why. Is the safety car in this lap? We will see. Safety car will not be in this lap. It is going to continue to stay out. 1 more lap. Sorry, safety car is in this lap. A very late call. the track now goes effectively green. Vlad is your safety car. Effectively your safety car. He's going to go around the penultimate hairpin. The first of the two. He's going to go around it. He's going to keep the pack nice and slow. Bunch them all up. He wants to go at just the right moment to catch Jacob off guard. He hasn't gone yet. He hasn't gone yet. He hasn't gone yet. He's going to keep everyone behind him. And he's going to go right now. There he goes. That's going to be Vlad now. Followed by Jacob. Followed by Pocket. Vlad keeping the lead despite being on those old hards. Pocket's almost going for a move. RD Gamer makes a move on Igor. That's going to be a switch around for the two old medium runners. And Scraffy is not able to make anything off those fresh set of hards. It's going to be all chaos at the back as Igor still ahead of RD Gamer. RD Gamer down the inside though. And RD Gamer does stay ahead of Igor, at least momentarily, as they've got a Red Bull of Mizzy and Fresh Soft right behind them. Scraffy gets ahead of Pockets. It's going to be third place now for Scraffy with 5 laps left in this Grand Prix. Mizzy now going down the inside of Igor. Igor dropping so far down as there's going to be an Alpine getting past. Striker Boy goes up into 7th. Igor losing many positions, and it has been an incident. Scraffy has crashed or spun. Scraffy has spun in this Grand Prix, and Scraffy has gone from podium runner all the way to the back. I'm not sure if he's got enough time to make his way back through the grid. Wilton now has also dropping many positions, and everything is now spiced up. Vlad now is going to have to fight off this attack from Jacob. And Vlad spins. Those tyres have given up. Vlad spins. Jacob takes the lead of the race, and that is going to be Vlad's hopes of winning this race completely over. Now 4 laps left in the race as Jacob goes back across the line. It's going to be Pockets. Pockets then following in second on those old hards. Mizzy is being held up by RD Gamer, and they're having a battle. As it looks like RD Gamer is going down the inside, takes the position from no, Striker Boy has the position. I'm very confused on what's happening right now, as this position's being taken everywhere. Cook gets ahead of Vlad. Vlad's losing more and more positions. He's down all the way in 12th. He's gone from the lead to out of the points. Mizzy is now going to be within 4 tenths of Pockets. Those tyres are not going to work for Pockets for much longer. We've just seen Vlad's tyres completely give up on him and make him spin. It's going to be Jacob in the lead, 2 seconds to Pockets, and then only 2 tenths then to Mizzy. Mizzy is going to continue to go around the track now. MKL has rejoined the session. Looks like he's having some connection issues. But Mizzy now is going for 2nd position in this race. He's going to go around. He's going to follow. Just keep following until he finds the opportunity to get round Pockets. Striker Boy is right behind, ready to jump when the time comes. And that's going to be Mizzy running outside. Wilton picks up a penalty. Mizzy is now ahead of Pockets. And that's going to be Pocket's race of potentially podium position points over, unless he does some excellent defending work on the car of Striker Boy. Jacob now, fastest lap, 1:18.3 on those medium tyres. It has a defensive or decisive lead of this race. Has 2.5 seconds. Pockets now down to 4th. We're going to see positions change all over. MKL has entered the pit lane. Which is going to give everyone behind many positions. It's going to be currently your grid, your top 5. Jacob, Mizzy, Striker Boy, Pockets, and RD Gamer round it out. Pockets has a bit more of a chance against RD Gamer. Now he's down into 4th. It's going to be Jacob, Mizzy, and Striker Boy, your top 3 so far. Jacob has the medium tyres and 2 seconds to Mizzy. MKL has left the session. I believe that is not a retirement. However, I'm not entirely sure what's happening over there. He has just stopped on track. MKL is just stopped on track, slightly in the way, and without the driver in the session. I'm not sure what's going in there. He has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. Unsurprising. Get that car out of the way. Do not ruin the race for anyone else. Penguin now is looking for RD Gamer. These two are not teammates despite having similar looking cars. I'm sure I said that earlier in the race, but oh well. It's going to be Penguin closely following RD Gamer. 2 tenths in it. The DRS zone comes up. I believe they do have DRS now. DRS is indeed active. Penguin's going to go for it. He wants this 5th position. Every point matters in this championship. Penguin does get ahead. He is ahead, and he goes ahead into turn 1. That's going to be Penguin 5th. RD Gamer 6th. And Igor now is looking to capitalise on maybe gaining 1 more position. We are on 2 laps left. Jacob has a commanding lead. 2 seconds. Then to Mizzy. And then another 2 seconds to Striker Boy. MKL has rejoined the session, however, is disqualified, so will not be able to take part further in this race. Currently, your top 5 has changed again. Jacob, Mizzy, Striker Boy, Pockets, and Penguin make up your top 5. It's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That appears to be Wilton has gone round. Wilton's race now effectively over. Scraffy is down in 12th. Maybe he can recover 1 point. He has 2 seconds to make up. Jacob enters the 3rd sector for the penultimate time. He goes 2 seconds slower than his previous lap. I'm not sure why I'm doing this as if it's qualifying. But here we are. It's a very exciting race at the end. Penguin here is on 5th. He's going for Pockets. He wants that 4th position. Vlad now is going to pick up a 3 seconds. His race goes from bad to worse as he's not going to have any chance to win the race anymore or even score points. He lost his chance to win when he spun and crashed. But Penguin here will have to run on Pockets exiting the final corner. He's going to go through the DRC and across the line. We are on the final lap of this 35-lap Hungarian Grand Prix. And that's going to be Penguin moving up into 4th position. 4th position now for Penguin. He's not going to be able to gain on those soft runners. But Jacob here, 1.8 second lead. He enters Sector 2 with a 1.7 second lead on Mizzy. Mizzy is gaining. Wilton has retired in the pit lane on the final lap of the race. Interesting decision. We have McLaren spawning out of nowhere on the map. It's going to be, it looks like there's a battle going on at the back. Valid has retired. Valid has crashed. It's been a multi-car collision. In there, yeah, it looks like Valid has crashed and Igor has also crashed but not retired. The front wing is still intact. That though is not for us to worry about, as Jacob now comes to the end of Sector 3, or the middle of Sector 3 really. It's quite a short sector, Sector 3. He's going to go through the penultimate turn. Jacob's had a turbulent race. He hasn't made too many mistakes. He's just been there when he needs to be there. Goes through the final corner now onto the main straight. 1.6 seconds to Mizzy, and that's going to be a 2nd win in a row for Jacob here in DRC Tier 1, followed by Mizzy, and then followed by Striker Boy and Penguin on track. But Pockets takes the position due to penalties. That's going to be Scraffy then 6th. Vlad 7th. Scraffy managing to recover halfway into the points. Vlad finishes 7th after penalties. Thunderfox 8th. Cook 9th. Bez 10th. On track, Lacton takes that 10th. RD Gamer takes that 10th, moving Lacton and Bez down to 11th and 12th respectively. And then that's going to be at the back, Igor coming round, broken front wing and everything to finish the race. Maybe finish the race. It's going to be, who's going to finish 13th here? It looks like EKH is going around the inside. That's going to be EKH finishing 13th, and Igor will finish 14th. And last of those on track. What an end to that race we just saw. A massive crash, a 3-car, 4-car collision right at the end. Scraffy recovering to the points. Edgin not finishing the race at all, retiring early on. Ferrari scoring 0 points. No points for Vlad either, despite running in the lead for a majority of the race. Something very unfortunate for him, as we now come to see our podium sitters from the Hungarian Grand Prix. The 35 laps of pure excitement that we just saw. Jacob there coming through the tunnel. And is your race winner here for round 4 of Tier 1. Jacob followed by Mizzy, followed by I actually already can't remember who finished 3rd. I'm not good at this. Believe it was Penguin or RD Gamer. Not sure. I will remind myself in just a moment. I was more worried about what was happening at the back than who was finishing on the podium, which is probably the wrong way around to look at it. But it is what it is. And here are your final results. Once it loads, in just a moment. And your final results are now. No. We'll see them in just a moment. Assuming it wants to show it to me. It might not decide to show it to me. No, it doesn't want to show it to me. Okay, this is brilliant. Edgin has left the session. We're not going to actually get to see our final results. I hope they know who they were. Where are they? I hope they joined the cooldown room. Right, okay, we won Jacob. We won. Who got third in the end? Because it all changed around with penalties. Has anyone got the final grid? Because I don't. I need to do interviews, but I don't know what the final grid actually was. Scrub, Edging, if either of you are here, if either of you got the final grid to hand, because it all changed around with penalties. I cannot even find driver chat. Yes, okay, we do have the final grid. It was Jacob, Mizzy, and Striker Boy. Now, if those three could join the cooldown room, that'd be brilliant. As I just look for okay, I've just pinged them now. This is why we usually do it with a commentator, because they're the ones who usually do it. We're just gonna wait for them, see who wants to join the cooldown room. I do want to know what happened with the safety car earlier. I will ask Jacob about that, as he did gain significantly from it, it felt like. Just waiting to see if anyone wants to join the cooldown room. It's looking like we've got Striker Boy, who did finish third, so we will bring him in here. Striker Boy, that was an interesting race. You managed to get third in the end. I believe penalties let you get third. What happened at the end of the race there? It was all chaos from my point of view.
Doing the one thing I asked him not to do, cause a safety car at the end. So all these different people, some stayed on hard, some mediums, and obviously I, with some of the others, hit for softs, and just a free for all of people going everywhere.
Yes, I saw
and
moves happening left and right. How was the strategy overall for you? Because of course you switched on to those softs at the end. Were you on the mediums or the hards before that?
I went medium hards for my strategy.
Is there any particular reason why you went that way and not the other way around, like about half the grid did? It was quite a 50-50 split on the tyres, actually.
Because I'm slow as hell, so I had to do mediums to at least try and stay in the points.
Fair enough.
And it just
Well,
worked out well.
that is a fair enough reason. I guess. Of course, Vlad ended up spinning. Do you think that had anything to do with the tyres he decided to keep on?
I think that, and obviously he was just pushing really hard to try and, I guess, keep the gap from the soft runners. You know,
Yeah. And so it's round 5 next weekend.
it
I
is.
need to double check what the calendar is, but I believe it is Spa.
Is it?
Yes, it is the
Oh,
longest circuit on the calendar. I think it still is. Hope it still is. How do you feel around Spa?
I
Next
love it.
weekend.
It's probably my strongest track. Although now I say this, I'll probably DNF within the first few turns. But yes, I
So
hope to make it to the end.
make it to the end and maybe we'll hear you on the podium once again. Well, congratulations on
Yes.
third place, even if it was through penalties and whatnot.
Oh, I don't think it. I don't think it was through
Wait, did you
penalties.
actually manage to make it on track in the end? Um,
Yeah, it was Penguin who had penalties, but he finished behind me anyways.
ah, must have been
Yeah,
the final few corners while I was focusing on everyone else. Um,
yeah, a bit
so
chaotic at the end.
anyway, congratulations on your third place either way. Um,
Thank you. The
and
one and only appearance this season. I savour it.
and we hope to maybe see you next weekend here on the podium
Maybe.
once again. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now we're going to hear from Mizzy, who is the Red Bull driver who finished second position. Mizzy, how was that race from your perspective? Of course, your teammate kind of span in the final few laps, but you were able to convert it into a second position. So, how was that from your perspective?
Dude, I'm so happy, you know. I had some issues earlier on the race. Yeah, I dropped down to like P12. So to be on the podium, P2 that is, it's a good feeling, but yeah, just glad no many incidents that I was involved in today, and yeah, just happy to be here to be fair.
Fair enough. And which strategy was it you went for in the end? Was it the hard medium? I seem to remember one of the Red Bulls doing that.
Yeah, so I went for the hard at the beginning, but the safety car came out at like around lap 11, which didn't help anything. So all the medium runners pitted for mediums, right? So I need to pit as well, but I was on hard, so I need to go for the mediums to the end, which is like 25 laps. And 25 laps on mediums, that's never gonna end well. That's gonna be like 80% wear at the end. So I was in a big disadvantage, but luckily at the end, the second safety car came out, and I was able to box for the soft tire, which basically allowed me to go for the late charge and get the P2 in the end.
Indeed, you were very quick at making a lot of moves in the final few laps of the race. That was chaos to commentate.
Yeah.
I must say, everyone overtaking everyone. But next weekend we're going to Spa. How do you feel about the longest circuit on the calendar?
Spa, a lot of places to make mistakes there, a very hard circuit to drive at, and yeah, it's gonna require a lot of focus and just practice overall to get a good result there. So I hope me and the team can, replicate what we did today and get some good points again.
Indeed. So, congratulations on your second place. I saw you catching on Jacob pretty quickly at the end. Did you have any thought that maybe be able to catch him?
Oh, no shot. I just burned my ERS, but the grip on the softs was just fading away so quickly. So yeah, he just started to pull away in the final lap as well at the end. So that was just, maybe if he made a mistake or blunder in the end, I was maybe just there to pick up the position. But yeah, he drove a good race, and I'm just happy to make the recovery to P2.
Well, fair enough. So, thank you for joining us. Congratulations once again on your second position, and hope to see you up here again next weekend.
Yeah, thank you, mate. See you next time.
And now we're going to bring in your race winner of Jacob. Jacob, second time in a row winner. Sorry, Jacob, second time in a row winner. How does that feel for you?
That feels great. It was a bit of a mess of a race, but still pulled through to the win, and I'm very happy with that because it was a quite bad start of the season, and now I won twice in a row. Uh, so yeah, I don't.
And that first safety car. Now, I don't know what it looked like from the driver's perspective, but you were near the front. What the hell happened?
Uh,
um, with was it desync? Was it like I saw a McLaren on its roof and like
that happened, yeah. Um, yeah. So the safety car comes out first of all at the worst possible time ever because I just passed the pit lane. So I was super scared for the like entire lap. Then I realized everyone else got a delta for no reason, so I don't lose as many positions. But then I'm like fourth, I think, behind the McLaren, and then we go through turn two, and he just like from one frame to the other, he's just on, like he's just on, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but I'll take the position. I don't know.
And did you actually gain an advantage from that happening because you were able to just start driving away from the rest of the packs? It looked like you and Vlad managed to get quite a bit of a gap before everyone else realised they were able to overtake the safety car.
Yeah, I was quite confused because we were still under like the limiter that's under the safety car, and it said in the middle of the lap it said safety car coming in, maintain speed. Like I can't, I don't understand what happened, but it happened and it worked out and I won.
You did win indeed. Did Vlad's spin significantly improve your chances, or were you like confident you would have got past him anyway?
First or second time?
At the end of the race.
Um, I was pretty confident I would have gotten past him anyways. It would have been quite hard because he had full ERS, of course, because we were just under safety car, but he had 20 laps old hards and I had brand new mediums, so I think I would have gotten him. But he just made it easier for me, so that's very much appreciated.
It made it easier for everyone. I'm not even sure if he finished in the points in the end. No. Actually, no, he did manage to recover back to 7th. So
That was pretty impressive. Also, just a lot of chaos. So.
there was. I mean, and anything could have happened. Is there any specific reason you chose the mediums over the softs at the end?
Yeah, because that was based on some practice I did earlier. I did a 50% race where I experienced that the mediums like peaked all the way up to 102 even on minimum PSI. So that meant if I went on the soft, they would overheat, and I wasn't gonna risk them overheating because if they overheated, I would risk spinning. So I just went on the mediums.
Very interesting indeed, because almost everyone else decided to put on the softs, which I was kind of expecting everyone else to do. But a bit of change in strategy is always nice to see. Well, one more question. How do you feel about Spa, as that is next weekend's race?
It's a good track, but like I kind of feel like that to every track. I'll probably have solid pace there, which I do at every other track. But yeah, it's a nice track. I don't know. I don't have much to say.
Well, I hope to see you up here again for maybe the 3rd time in a row, or it could all go wrong. Who knows? But thank you for joining me, and congratulations on winning for the 2nd time in a row in 4 rounds. So, yeah, congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
And that is going to do it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I do apologize for the technical issues that did occur at the start. If I'm streaming again next weekend, I'll try and have that fixed. If I'm co-commentating, that's someone else's problem. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining. And that has been round 4 of Tier 1 at DRC. And of course, if you want to join DRC Discord, discord.gg/digital racing, and there you can find all the other socials. So that's it from me. Goodbye.